Hello and welcome back. I'm Lee and I'm going through the adventure book Greenblood. Previously, we'd met the priestess of the All-Mother Eleanor, and she was telling us that the Westermen are coming to burn down the forests. And we had a choice. Do we say that it would be a terrible thing to burn down the forest, or do we ask her why it would be a bad thing to destroy the forest? 4 of you voted, and it was 1 to 3, so we will ask her why it was so bad to burn down the forest. It is the forest which cleans and purifies the air for all the world to breathe. Without the forest of Arden, all living things would choke, gag, and die. The trees absorb the foul air of man's pollution, his burning and wasting, and give it back to the world again, clean, fresh, and ready to breathe. The stench and dross of the cities is purged and cleansed by the trees. The forest is the lifeblood of the world. The old woman delivers these words very gravely, convincing you that she believes every word of what she is saying. All the time her eyes never leave yours. Ah, but I see I bore you. Enough of this idle prattle. I must take my rest. Good night to you. So saying, she gets up and makes to leave you. You are about to protest that you are far from bored, but realise she is only looking for a polite way to leave your company. You let her go and decide to take a room at the inn as well. Turn to 333. So 333 is how we end up leaving. So we had it previously in our first run through, but I will go through it again so that way people don't have to go back and watch again if they don't want to, and to help maintain the continuity. So 333. The young girl who says that her father is away on a journey to buy provisions charges you a piece of gold for your food and for a night's lodging. You sleep well and awake early but refreshed. Washing in cold water is invigorating, and you enjoy the feel of the rough inn towel. There will be no such comforts in the forest. Downstairs the inn is deserted. The woman in grey, the only other guest, has left already. The young girl is mopping the floor, and she looks troubled. Asking what ails her brings the reply, "My father did not return last night. I tried not to worry, but I knew in my heart he wouldn't come. He went into the forest to buy provisions before the Westermen blocked the spice road. I know that he has gone the way of the others, and that strange woman in grey never so much as touched her bed last night, though she didn't leave her room till after dawn. I begged father to take Renard to guide him, but he wouldn't spend the money. Now I'll never see him again." With this she breaks into tears. As you comfort her, you ask the innkeeper's daughter to describe her father, and say that you will try to either find him or news of him. As you turn to leave, she says, "Fare you well, traveller. You are my only hope." Obi-Wan Kenobi. So we then turn to 210. So again, this is One Direction. So 210, again, for those who might have been watching from the beginning. After leaving Berg by the waterside gate, you walk north along a path next to the bank of the Berg stream. The river valley has quite steep sides, and you can see little of the land that surrounds you. Ahead you see the vast leafy canopy that stretches to the far horizon like a green sea fading to blue in the distance. The air is good here, fresh and clean, laden only with the perfume of wild flowers. A lone figure in grey walks ahead. You increase your pace to catch up. After half an hour's hard walking, you seem to be no nearer to the figure. You break into a jog, but even this seems to bring you no closer to the slender woman dressed in grey. You ponder the strange facts that even though she seems only to be walking, you cannot seem to come any closer to her. At last you reach the crest of a rise to find she has vanished, but now you can see the trunks of the trees at the edge of the Forest of Arden. As you enter the forest, you are surprised by how much colour there is. Blossoming trees, fungus mounds in bright hues, flowering creepers and giant butterflies are lit up by the dappled sunshine that trickles through gaps in the leafy canopy. It is noisy too. The forest is alive with insects, birds, and small mammals. The path strays close to the river, almost doubling back on itself where the Berg stream bends tortuously until at last you hear the roar of the great Syrian river as it washes through the forest ahead. Pressing on, you come to a ford over the Berg stream. So we have a choice, but I'm going to do something what I did before, which is intentionally go for the opposite choice, just so we get a bit more variety. So it means that we know we won't be fighting a monster, that at least we can survive, but we will get different choices. So our options were cross the ford and follow the bank of the Syrian River to the west and turn to 77, which is what we previously had. Or, if you prefer to remain on this side of the Berg stream and turn east when you meet the Syrian, turn to 96. So we're going to go to 96 because it's completely new to us. So, 96. Nothing in your life so far has prepared you for the first sight of the Great Syrian River. The largest bank, or perhaps it is just a large island in midstream, seems 3 miles away. Its roiling waters carry a multitude of dead branches. I think we've done this one. 131. Hang on. Oh no, we haven't. Across the river, the tree line is unbroken. You are deep in the forest now. The gigantic trees spread their branches more than 100 feet from the ground here. At the river's edge, mangroves reach far out in the water. Bloated river buffalo shelter beneath the arching roots. It is hard going here. Every other step you are sinking into oozing mud. Twice you nearly lose your life in oozing mud. Once when a vine you are clinging to snaps, and again when a huge river buffalo erupts out of the water between mangrove and rushes you. It storms through the water margin and crashes into the trees in hot pursuit. Soon the trees are too thick for it to follow, and you trudge on, abandoning the riverbank. Quite lost by now, you hope you can find a landmark to guide you. Turn to 131. It's quite a long stretch we're having in this one. The path twists and turns, winding through dense undergrowth overhung by barrel-like guelph trees that festooned with lianas. You try to fix the shape of each tree in your mind, so you will know if you have passed one before. The thin, crooked branches that sprout from the top of the barrel-like boreholes remind you of terrified old men with their hair standing on end. To your dismay, the path ends in a little clearing choked with dead leaves, with 2 paths leading off in different directions. Each is lined with thorn bushes that have grown to the height of a man and are covered in inch-long purple barbs which ooze an orange fluid. The thorns would break off in your flesh if you brushed against them. So we have 4 options. I don't think we've had 4 before. So you can take the left path and turn to 196, or the right path and turn to 211. If you despair of ever finding your way out of the forest, turn to 156. If you wish to mark one of the great guelph trees by scraping away a patch of bark, turn to 177. So for a moment I thought I'd accidentally picked the wrong option for the river, but we definitely didn't have trees before. So, as a reminder, 4 options. Do we take the left path? Do we take the right path? Do we despair on finding a way out? Or do we mark the trees? Get voting. Hopefully I get more than 4 votes and they're at least different enough. And I'll see you tomorrow. Thanks very much.